Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Live from the GBM studios in Belize City, it's Open Your Eyes. Start your morning right with your hosts, Sabrina Daly and Paul Lopez.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And let's jump straight into it, Paul. We have an exciting show lined up for you guys this morning. Starting off with a conversation behind the mic, the story of the Season 7 champion. We'll be sitting down with someone who is $10,000 richer this morning. Darlene Usher will be on set with us. Also, we'll be joined by the judges of KTV Season 7, and they'll be sharing their insights about the season as well. And then finally, crowning confidence, we'll be meeting the Miss Belmopan Delegates. Paul, what you doing here on a Wednesday?
I asked myself the same thing, and yet here I am.
Yeah.
It's just one of those days where some adjustments had to be made logistically, but we're here.
Yeah.
Right? We're here in the middle of the week. We're excited as we can be. It's Wednesday. We're counting down to the end of the week, and I do hope that you, our viewers at home or wherever you are, that you're having a blessed morning, that it's going as smooth as you would want it to. And if it's not, then I'd implore you to just take a deep breath right now. Wherever you are, just stop, take a deep breath. Let out that frustration and really get ready to embrace the day that is ahead with all its challenges and the curveballs that it will throw at you. Because, Sabrina, I think it's important to start the day with a positive outlook. Sometimes you start the day on the wrong foot and things at least feels like it's just going downwards and spiraling downwards throughout the course of the entire day. So, but I want to thank you for tuning in. I have to quickly give a quick big up, right? To three young fans.
Okay.
They came yesterday to buy KTV tickets, and I met them. They're from Maxborough, right? And then I like, Mr. Paul, you have to big way up, right? So I beg your indulgence, right? They said I'll wake up early this morning.
Okay.
So from Maxborough to Carolee Williams, a cousin Riley Westby, and Riley's brother Janon Westby. Big up to I would say good morning. School is starting soon, so ensure that you're ready, that you have the right mindset to get that education and to do well in school. And listen to the teacher and listen to the parents, because I get far if we don't do their things there. So good morning.
I love that. And big up to everyone else who have been enjoying the show thus far. I know that we have exciting conversations to jump into this morning, Paul, but just before we get into that, let's head into 5 things we think you guys should know before you leave your homes this morning.
Excellent. So here are 5 things that you need to know, and we'll be spending a short time discussing these topics. First of all, News 5 visits Arenal. How did Budna get from Orange Walk to Guatemala? The question we've all been asking, and we've been trying to answer with a lot of speculations here and there. Secondly, Mopan Maya artist Stitch Belize into Carifesta spotlight. Carifesta in Barbados taking place. Belize has a delegation over there. Third, Belize City Administrator Albert Vaughan resigns. Albert Vaughan had a relatively short stint at the Belize City Council, and now for personal reasons he has moved on from that position. Fourth, how prepared are you for the peak of the hurricane season? We're just about entering that peak. We are seeing things kind of stir up within the Caribbean Sea and the Caribbean region. How prepared are you? And last but certainly not least, a conversation we'll expand on later on. KTV The Remix Season 7 has a winner. That $10,000 grand prize winner is none other than Belmopan Representative Darlene Usher. Excellent.
Wonderful. All right. Well, Paul, I know that we will be continuing the conversation and the reporting, the investigation really on the case involving Ryan Joseph Budna. Yesterday, we provided an interesting update to the story. One of our reporters visited the Arenal area where he would have been transported from Orange Walk, from the other side of the country. We've also been able to get further updates from police officers involving the investigation. Not really much more information. I think we're just trying to contextualize those few hours, those last few hours that we saw with him online, where he would have done a live coverage on Facebook. And then everything after that seems blurry. But this that you guys are seeing on screen, which is supposedly a checkpoint area, I think is what is most important to us.
Yeah,
because
you think so?
yeah, because this is an area where we imagine he could have or should have, or the vehicle identified should have been seen. The police officers are saying there's no sky blue Chevy Equinox in question that Joseph Budna said that he was transported in. And so there are still more questions than answers.
Yeah, so I think just to first address the question that people are asking, well, why are you all still having this conversation, right? It's important to note that Ryan Budna's extensive rap sheet is not lost on us. He's been charged, accused, convicted, kidnapping, assault, sexual assault, sexual violence against minors, extortion. In fact, he has faced at least 2 convictions in Guatemala, one 25 years and one 30 years, right? And that is not lost on us. That has to be discussed, and it has to be a part of the conversation. And we made sure here in our newsroom that on Monday we did an extensive report on all that we know about this character and all that he has made the news for in terms of criminal activities, whether convicted, alleged, charged before a court. And so that is not lost on us. There is, however, 2 sides to a coin. And the flip side that we're spending a great deal of time on has to do with how he got from Orange Walk to Guatemala and handed over, well to Arenal, and handed over to Guatemalan authorities. You have to understand that at the end of the day, while yes, he is a criminal to a great extent in terms of his convictions in Guatemala, the time he spent in Belize in the prison, a crime was committed here in that this was an abduction. This was somebody being kidnapped, regardless of who it is.
Yes.
And taken against their will to a specific location in Arenal, where he was handed over to police in Guatemala. And what makes it even more concerning are the allegations that this character, Joseph Budna, is making against the Belize Police Department.
Yeah.
Right? And the Commissioner of Police stressed on Monday that we should allow the investigation to take its course and then basically rely on the findings of that investigation. But we cannot sit and wait for the police to take however long they take following their process before we get some concrete answers. Because while Monday we went for answers, what we got or what we left with was more questions than answers. And basically all that police said in that interview, if you could summarize it, is that we're not involved and we're investigating. Well, we're also investigating, right? And so yesterday, we traveled to Arenal, Tanya Arceo, George Tillett, and another one of our employees traveled to Arenal to do a first-hand on the ground assessment of what it takes to get into this community and how easy it is to get across the border. If you're familiar with that area.
And there's one way in.
Well, based on what they found is that there is one way in. And if you're in that, if you're familiar with the area, you would know how easy it is to get to the other side in Guatemala.
She was standing on a small bridge which kind of separates.
Well, the bridge, based on my understanding, is fully in Guatemala because the field is where they basically the borderline is. So once you cross the other side of the field, that's when you get to the bridge. It's a hammock bridge. It's a cement bridge. What she found, and I found concerning, is that checkpoint, that very checkpoint that we're looking at there, right? Because I remember going to Arenal probably six years ago. This is the last time I went into that area, maybe a bit more recent, a bit during COVID or after COVID. And I don't remember that area having a barrier at the checkpoint. And now it does.
Which means that in order for people to pass, someone would have to be closer to the vehicle to lift, as you are seeing there on the screen, to lift this barrier.
So who was there to lift the barrier? Who let this vehicle through that took this individual from Orange Walk into this community? Who did that? We understand that from 7 p.m. there is a shift handing over, and it is the SPU, my understanding, Special Patrol Unit, that would take over the post or would begin to man the post. And I understand why this is the case. This is one of those areas where you need specialized oversight, especially during the nighttime, because this is a border community and things could get, tense or perhaps volatile. I just need that specialized training and that specialized personnel to be there. But you have to lift the barrier. You have to, as you saw with that police officer in that shot, check the vehicle, ensure that nothing that's supposed to ensure that you're stopping anything that's not supposed to go into the community from going in, ensuring that nothing that's supposed to you're supposed to stop anything from coming out of the community, that is done. None of that, in my view, none of the explanation that has been given adds up in terms of this specific checkpoint.
So at this point, were questions posed to the Commissioner of Police regarding a person that would have been present or law enforcement officers that would have been present at that booth?
Well, as we heard in a portion of the Commissioner's comment last night, he made statements on Monday saying that he could confirm that none of these checkpoints saw a vehicle that fits the description that Mr. Budna detailed in one of many recordings that have since been released of him from the hospital in Guatemala. So he's saying that no vehicle fits that description that passed any of these checkpoints, right? And so a lot of things still doesn't add up. And then Tanya, our reporter, went into Arenal itself, Arenal proper, and she went on the field to show the divide between the two countries, or the borderline, and how easy it is to traverse from one side to the next. There's a new bridge, which, based on information she got on the ground, believes that this is how Budna was transported across the border. Listen, there is a national security, if you would, aspect, concern at play here, because
There's a dispute.
there's a dispute, but how is it that nobody at the checkpoints saw when they took this man? And who could carry out such a calculated move undetected across a national highway from Orange Walk to Arenal within the span of a couple hours? Who can do that? We're not making any allegations or casting any aspersions as to any department, any unit, any individual, right? But a lot of these questions cause people to question their trust in what has been said at that press conference on Monday, the police press conference, and question whether or not the Belize Police Department is really telling us everything that they know, or providing us with all the information that they have, or withholding certain things from the public. We don't know, but these are questions on the table, and I think they're well-justified questions.
Yeah, and that's why we continue to ask them. You know, I think of the coverage that was provided by Joseph Budna that night, and I don't think it's difficult for us to narrow down the approximate time that it would take to leave Orange Walk, however long a person would be driving to get to that area that he would have crossed into Arenal. And so I'm hoping that we are asking questions around a particular time frame as well. The person that was manning that boot, I'm not certain what type of conversations they're having with him at this time. So that is something I think we might also want to ask, who was that individual there at the boot? And then we just continue to reinforce that regardless, because I see a lot of people in the comment section saying that, you know, we should be spending more time on the fact that there were real victims involved, and it's justified that he should be imprisoned at this time. We cannot deny that.
Yeah, correct.
These victims are real. We did a complete deep dive on the history of Joseph Budna on Monday, but we also cannot ignore the national issue that is at play. And as I said yesterday, two things can be true.
Indeed. So,
all right.
So with that, we know for a fact that at least right now, Budna is going to remain in Guatemala.
I want to read a comment really quickly from one of our viewers tuning in. This comes from Art Martinez saying, "Open your eyes. That's not the only road to Arenal. They have others close by. I travel that road every single week, and for sure, that's not the only road that leads you to Arenal."
Okay.
Well, there you have it.
So that's definitely going to be a part of the discussion, because yes, on Monday the commissioner did say that there are 2 more roads. I think we are familiar with another one, Santa Marta Road. But let me ask something really, Sabrina. If that's not the only road to Arenal, why place so much security emphasis on this specific entrance, right? Because clearly you're trying to ensure that our sovereignty is maintained close to this border community, but then just leave the other road to the mercies of the world. What do you think criminals will end up doing? Or those with criminal intentions, what do you think they will end up doing? use the next road, or checkpoint that at this road, make we use the next road. So for me, just logically, I don't see it adding up. I've heard, I haven't gone for myself to see, but I've heard people say, well, that Santa Marta Road is not necessarily in the condition that is would allow for you to take your vehicle through and get to Arenal in that sort of manner, a convenient manner that one naturally would with this road. But again, I go back to the question, and this is something I would ask, right? And perhaps the viewer can answer, why then leave one access wide open but place so much security on this access? So then perhaps now we need increased security on that other road, unless it's impossible.
All right. Well, we do want to move things along. We have a little bit more time, and I know that we are closing off the month of August, which means we just have about 3 more months for the hurricane season. We've been able to hear directly from the National Emergency Coordinator, Daniel Mendez, and of course he's encouraging persons to stay prepared because we are not out of the hurricane season. This is what we call the peak season. We still have just about 3 more months. And so that's a conversation that we will be continuing to have as well. I do know that, of course, we have the National Meteorological Service that continues to monitor systems outside our area. And so while there might be hurricanes taking place or storms taking place around us, we still have to keep ourselves prepared here.
Yeah, indeed. And so the question is put forward, are you prepared for the hurricane season? We know things can turn around really quickly. I saw you shared something with me earlier, Sabrina, about an incident in Belmopan. May you want to just quickly touch on that? I think it's one of those things that that's important to note. This attorney at law, I know him as, I think it's Emmanuel.
Yes,
Emmanuel Ortiz, right? He has raised a serious concern, I believe, and we'll bring up a picture. He's saying that his home was invaded, basically burglarized
On Sunday night.
And that the culprit, who he identified, walked away. Nobody has been charged as yet, but made good his escape with his vehicle. Yeah. Right? It's one of those. It's a nice vehicle, right? It's a Toyota 4Runner, and also made good his escape with other personal items belonging to him.
Well, there's a portion of the report saying he never took anything from me. I don't know this man. I've never seen this man before. He took away my peace of mind, however, and that bothers me more than anything. This man cranked a loaded gun in my face. Wow. This is disturbing, especially since he's been able to identify the individual and the person did leave, made good his escape, as you mentioned. I know that we will be definitely following up on this story, but we continue to cover and report on cases of individuals being targeted, being robbed as well. And so please protect yourselves out there. And of course, we will try to get further updates on this, especially if they're able to identify the individual and bring justice as well.
Indeed. All right. Well, last but certainly not least, just to make mention that we have a KTV winner by none other than Darlene Usher. I think last night, I'm not counting, but I think we've probably had the highest viewership that we've had
what did you
for
see?
The entire season. What did I see in terms
What was
of
the
viewership?
figure that you saw?
So at its peak, I saw 8,000 on YouTube and 4,000 on Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's 12,000 viewers locked in last night. I know a lot of people at least have to their foot to see if any drama will take place. Well, boo-hoo. Too bad, too sad. We had no drama. It was a spectacular night.
I didn't think that there was gonna be drama. I think everyone was just anticipating who would win.
Oh, okay.
Who would walk away with that.
I like your positive outlook.
Apparently, I'm just way too much of an optimist.
Yeah, in our population. I love it.
I have hope. But later on in the show, we will be joined by the winner himself, Darlene Usher, and of course, we'll also be joined by the judges. You would also know last night that they did their own performances, and it was fantastic. I enjoyed Andaz's performance as well as
And that's
Tremet's performance. My gosh.
Yeah, boy, Miley, like he get better every season.
I'm telling you.
He might need to compete next season, man. Man got smooth
compete.
voice.
I wouldn't even put him on a stage with to compete. It's amazing.
Really
He's such a veteran in this, but we will be sitting down with them as well.
Perhaps you, our viewers, can tell us what was your favorite part of last night, what was your favorite moment last night, and when we come back, we'll definitely read some of those comments.
Alrighty. Well, we do want to jump to our weather update. We have a weather update for you, courtesy the folks from the National Meteorological Service.
All right, let's cool things down a bit in this place with the weather update. Today's going to be cloudy. We're going to have cloudy spells today and tonight with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms around the country. That's today's forecast. To talk about temperatures, along the coast it's going to be 87 degrees and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Inland, we're looking at 93 degrees Fahrenheit and 74 degrees Fahrenheit on the lower end. And then in the hills, 80 degrees Fahrenheit and 68 Fahrenheit on the lower end. The extended forecast, Thursday, man, we already did our Wednesday. So looking at tomorrow, along the coast, 85 degrees and then 91 inland. And then on Friday, 85 along the coast and 92 degrees inland. And then Saturday, 85 again and 92 inland. And then Sunday, looks like that temperature turns up a notch. 86 along the coast and 96 inland. But that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's a good day for the beach or for the river. Let's move on to our astronomical forecast. The sun rose this morning at 5:37 a.m. Good for you if you caught that sunrise. And it's going to set later on at 6:10 p.m. I'm watching the sunset increasingly go closer and closer to 6 p.m. Who knows, in a couple of weeks it may be 6 p.m. The moon is going to set at 8:55 p.m. and then the moon is going to rise at 9:12 a.m. tomorrow morning. Quite an interesting dynamic there. In terms of our marine conditions, the sea state, it's going to be light sharp. The winds is going to be blowing from east at 5 to 15 knots. And talking about tides, today's low tide at 6:43 a.m. Today's high at 12:29 p.m. Another low takes place just some time after sunset at 6:40 p.m. and then we'll have a high tomorrow morning just after midnight at 12:25 a.m. And that does it for our Eye on the Weather this morning, courtesy the National Meteorological Service of Belize. Back to you, Sabrina.
Alrighty, moving things along. We take a quick break now, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's all about Behind the Mic, the story of the KTV winner.
¡Prepárate, Belice! El regreso más esperado está aquí.
El ritmo que traigo es azúcar, azúcar para ti.
¡Cumbia Kings!
Como mami, mami, yo te vengo a decir las cosas tan lindas que tú quieres.
¡Cumbia Kings! En vivo. Este sábado 30 de agosto en el majestuoso People Stadium Orange Bowl. La cumbia que marcó tu vida vuelve para encender la fiesta más grande del año. ¡Cumbia Kings! General 75, VIP 150, Platinum $200. Una noche única, un concierto histórico. Boletos ya disponibles en Cuellos Distillery. Rusty Groove, Divari, Orange Ball Town, María's Bake Shop y Coffee House, Amor Turquesa Boutique, Shell One Stop y la aplicación QuiPass, disponible en Android y iPhone.
It's that time again. Back to school, back to savings at Cellular World. Find yourself with a brand new Lenovo laptop, HP printer, wireless buds, and print paper for just $739. Because the deadlines don't wait for no one. Study all night with epic tablet bundles, starting at just $129. Or upgrade your space with a new desk, monitor, or headset in one easy package. From accessories to monitors, flash drives to power backups, we've got every corner of your study area covered. And with our layaway plans, getting everything you need is even easier on your budget. Visit us today in Belize City, Orange Walk, Belmopan, and San Pedro. Or shop from anywhere through our virtual store on Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp us at 615-4151. Back to school, back to savings, only at Cellular World.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. This is our first conversation for this morning, and we have on set none other than the KTV Season 7 winner, superstar, the man himself.
You know, I feel like $10,000 right now, too. Don't do that.
I'll leave it at tacos. The morning, to play. Dallon, congratulations, my brother, and welcome to the morning show.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Tell us, how does it feel right now? You're soaking in all of it. I would imagine you had a long night. I could see a bit of weariness in your eyes, but talk a bit about the excitement in the aftermath of hearing your name called out on that stage as the winner.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely been an experience, first of all. I just want to start off by saying I'm so grateful for all the support that I've experienced throughout this competition. I mean, I knew that I would get support, but to see the amount, you know, it's overwhelming. I think all of us were really like anxious up to that point. Yeah. You know, everyone was like on the edge of their seat, and you know, I was like really out there, but it's a very overwhelming feeling. Yeah. You know, and I'll say that a lot throughout this, but that's the best way I can describe it.
Were you shocked, or what emotion went through your body the moment you heard? Well, first you heard second place. Yeah. Right.
He heard Maureen's name.
And I know, I would imagine that both you and Maureen were on the edge. Yeah. Like, all right, it could be anyone away, right? Yeah. I would imagine that's what you thought.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was exactly that thought. You know, first they had called out third place, and I was like, okay, well, I know I'm either first or second.
All right, yeah.
And then, you know, at that point I was like, I just like put my head down because I was like really like out, you know, my emotions were all over the place. Yeah. But I think once I heard it was like the first sigh of relief, because I guess that was where I really realized that everything was over and I could finally breathe. Whether or not I came in first, second, or third, for me was the experience that I truly enjoyed, and so I'm just happy to have been the People's Choice for first place.
The entire country was officially introduced to you about 7 weeks ago in the start of the competition, audition season. Talk to us about, and I know we've been able to get a bit of a bio from you, but I want to hear from you in real time at this moment. Talk to us about what prompted your interest in being a part of KTV in the first place, and what was the experience from the start to where you are now?
KTV has always kind of been on the horizon for me. It's something that I wanted to participate in probably for the last 6 or 7 years. And so I always felt like it was something that I wanted to pursue eventually, but I didn't think at the time that I was ready. Whether that was either with my vocals or maybe certain connections that I wanted to make. And eventually I felt that I was ready, and I think that this year was the year that I would participate. So from the start it had been something that was like a bit of taboo nearly for me, because like I've been performing for a while and I know the stage and how to work a crowd, but this is a lot different because it's a lot more technical and it's a lot more precision is required.
Yeah, and that's something that actually Tremet pointed out last night when he was saying that there's a different requirement to perform on a stage and work a crowd, like you said, than being just really good at karaokeing.
Yeah.
Of course, this is a karaoke competition, but you also have the crowd element, and then you have, of course, your viewers tuning in, which last night we saw up to 12,000 people on 2 of our platforms tune in to find out who would win.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything right now, people want to know who you are, Darlin. We've been able to see you perform week after week and challenge yourself with various genres that you might have enjoyed or might not have enjoyed. But tell us who you are behind the performances.
Yeah, I mean, I love sports. I love reading. I love just being chill, my favorite thing to do is rest, which I don't get much of
these days. At least.
Yeah, funnily enough. But I just like to hang around with people and have a good time. I think music has always been something, and I actually said this in the interview. Music has always been a part of my life in some degree, and so whether I'm doing sports or reading or whatever else it is, there's always some aspect of music that is ongoing in that moment. I love producing music. I do a lot of that in my free time. Playing instruments. Last night I was able to play the piano, and that's something that I enjoy. I don't get to do as often, but I play quite a few instruments, and so that's something that I'd taken up quite a while ago when I realized that I was musically inclined. And so that's, music, I said, is something like that is.
You also have a degree in audio engineering, yes?
Yes.
Which I thought was cool
live
too.
engineering as well as studio recording and artist management. So.
I've watched you perform for years. In fact, initially, when you were a part of at least the launch of 501 Genesis, it's crazy to see how much you've evolved. And those stages with 501 Genesis, it's not a competition, right? It's performance, and you have a lot more leeway to either make mistakes but here in a competition, it's a completely different scenario and a completely different approach. And I'll be honest, I never took you as the competitive type, like in terms of like having a competitive spirit where music is concerned. Like, I go in there and I want to fight there, I want to win. I never took you as that. I saw you more like a reserved personality.
He was smooth with it though.
Who explodes on stage, and he's continued to be smooth with it. But I want to ask, what was it like navigating through the entire journey of KTV, having to decide on which song to pick for the genre and having to challenge yourself each night with a different genre? And to add to that, what was perhaps the most challenging one for you?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and I'm glad you asked, because KTV was, I mean, at least with picking the genres, or the songs for the genres rather, I mapped out this entire competition from the first performance. I knew every song that I wanted to sing, and I had to change a few different times, but I had my alternatives. Even for Latino Night, which, I mean, I've been kind of saying for a while, like I really wanted, not because I'm good at Spanish or Spanish songs, but because I was prepared for it, you know. This entire performance, or the entirety of the performances, were kind of a story of my life, in all the ups and downs, the highs and the lows. Even this final performance that I did last night, it was something that I had envisioned quite a while ago, and I'm so grateful to my band for being able to pull it off. At the last minute we had to change the set a bit, so it was kind of incomplete. There was one song in between those two that I was supposed to do, but we had taken it out. But even with that performance, and I'll speak about that one specifically, the two songs were very contrasting because it's one that is very reflective of oneself.
That's purpose, right?
Purpose, and very acoustic, very minimal. And then we had My Way, which is quite literally the opposite. It's like now saying, hey, like this is what I've done, this is me, you know, I did it my way, you know. And it's a big band, it's full sound, it's, you know, full send. And so with that performance, it was something that I really wanted to showcase kind of my ability to contrast my performances, but also to kind of give the viewers and the audience and a little take or inside view to kind of the start and end of it all. So
I really enjoyed that performance because of the theme, the underlying theme. You got that you got that reflection, and then you got that, all right, the curtain is closing, and it's time to say goodbye. Now, for you, was there a point in the show where you began to realize that this is not only about coming up to sing, but you actually have to put on a performance for the audience? In my view, as a humble viewer, I saw a transformation at the point when you sang Can I Call You Rose?
Yes.
Yeah.
But was that the point, or was there a point when you realized, you know what, this is more than just singing, I have to perform, and what would have led you to that?
yeah, so the first song that I sang on the show, not the audition, but the show, was from Rihanna, right? And I feel like my nerves were still kind of playing a part. You know, it's the first show, kind of getting settled into KTV and all of that stuff. By the second song, that was, I believe, Reggae Week. So I did Too Experienced, and I was really able to like let myself loose and, you know, kind of be a bit more composed with that. And I think that was the point where I realized it would take a little bit more than just singing. You know, I was able to interact with the crowd, which is more natural for me. Like I said, I'm a performer by trade, I guess, if you want to say. And so that performance specifically was where I realized, okay, like the crowd loves being interacted with, and so why not use that to my advantage? And from there it was like, okay, well, my songs, I need to kind of upgrade them a bit. I didn't change them, but just choreograph certain things. And not all of my songs for the rest of the season were with, moves or this actual skit or whatever, but it was a lot more intentionally choosing what I would do to bring the music to life.
Yeah. I think one of the key aspects to the show each week that we know is important comes with feedback from judges. I know that you also, along with other contestants, would have gotten some vocal coaching from Giselle O'Brien as well. Talk about that aspect of the show and the molding and mentorship that was involved as well. The feedback that you would get from the judges, and of course Giselle's input.
The feedback from the judges were, each judge I think really brought helpful insights, and a lot of people have a lot of things to say about that, but for me personally, I took it in stride. I realized that I don't know everything about singing, about music, and so I really wanted to step on the stage each week with open ears, more than just me speaking and singing. I wanted to see what they were hearing and at least interpreting from my performances. And so, yes, like maybe there were times where I felt like maybe they had missed the mark with what they were saying, but for the most part, I really took it in stride, and each week took what they said and tried to improve that certain aspect of my performances. Miss Giselle, she was a great help to all of us, I believe. Each week she would offer her services and her time, and so it was really helpful for, I think, all of us to be able to have that feedback from her as well, whether it be at her studio or even on the night of KTV, you know, saying, hey, you guys have it, you know, good luck out there, and just remember to do this, this, and this. For the group performances, she was very instrumental with those as well, and so I'm definitely happy for her. Personally, I had my own vocal coach, Mr. Elvis from Allegro Music School, and he was with me from the very beginning, and I'm eternally grateful for him.
Yeah.
He was actually my music teacher for like 8 or 9 years, from the very beginning. Actually, he took me under his wing, was there with me through the transition of my voice, and that was a very difficult time for me. But he kept me strong, and I owe a lot of my music career to him. So.
Listen, I'll tell you, there were times when I was watching the show, and I too, I personally felt as if the judges missed their marks in certain instances. I know, I stood on the screen like, you're wrong, but then I can't do that, right? But I like that you are able still to listen, to hear from them, and to take whatever input you can apply and apply it for the next week, because they reward that as well, right? And I think you understand the importance of taking feedback. But we don't like to talk about it a lot, but this season was also filled with a great deal of drama. And I just want to ask you, as a contestant, how were you able to maintain your composure and keep your head above all the noise and the distraction and the drama that was taking place around you in real time, whether it was on stage or behind the background? We saw those mic drops. We saw people deciding not to sing on stage and storming out. All of this happened. This must have taken for you like some sort of mental toll. I don't know. But how were you able to, now as a winner, take this on with stride and keep your head above the negative?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that was very difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie. I actually mentioned it on stage last night, but 2 weeks ago, or I guess it would have been 3 weeks, I'm not sure, when the second set of dramas, you know, happened, that one weighed on me a lot.
Did it?
I remember actually kind of having to like just step away from everybody and going in a little corner and just kind of regaining my composure, because not necessarily that anything was done to me specifically, but just the situation and the scenario that it happened, and I had to go on right after all of that had, you know, happened, and so it really kind of caught me out of my zone. So I had to take some time to really like center myself and get back into composure to be able to perform. Thankfully, I was still able to do a good performance even despite all that. But it has been a bit difficult, you know.
You wanted to quit, right? At some point, you said that on stage.
Yes, 3 weeks ago, when like 2 weeks ago, it was the most difficult week of this entire campaign, and I was really considering like, is it even worth all the mental toll and the stress and anxiety and everything? But I have an amazing support system, you know, and not just my immediate family and friends and, you know, supporters, but people have been messaging and calling from all over the country, and even out of the country. There are a few people who are in the US and a few different places who religiously every week and sometimes nearly every day will message and say, hey, you know, you keep on going, you're doing great, you're doing a great job, we're rooting for you, we're supporting you. Last night was such a surreal moment because I had a group of guys say they came away from Toledo just to come and see my performance.
I know like, them. They came for tickets late, and I told them you have to go to the place, the same group from Toledo.
Yes, so I mean, again, I'm just so grateful and humbled for all the support that I've gotten. You know, I feel like I repeat myself, but it's the truth.
Support seems to be a recurrent theme in your story, not only on stage, but in life. We've brought it up time and time again that this is a story of tragedy to triumph in all its senses. We've talked about your journey through the foster care system as a child. You've been very vocal about some of the abuse and the neglect that you would have faced while in the foster care system. And you've talked about also publicly the support that you've received from your parents and how they've made life for you and your siblings much more manageable, right? So what would be your advice to individuals that face this level of tragedy, whether on stage or in life right now, in order to get to a place of triumph?
Life happens, and sometimes you can't control those circumstances, you know, but I believe that with the right foundation, for me that has been God, you know, my family, my friends, with the right people around you, you're able to not necessarily manage it per se, but overcome. I heard someone say that it's not okay to just be surviving in life, but to thrive. And sometimes that's not the easiest thing to do. It's easy to say, but when you're in those situations where, you know, maybe money is tight, or you lose a loved one, or things just aren't going your way with a job or something like that, you know, it's so much easier to just like crash out and like, oh well, I can't do it anymore. But that's why it's so important to have that support system and a solid foundation, because if you're not able to ground yourself in something, then you will end up falling for anything, you know. But even when those hard times come, I believe that you're able to get past them and move on because you have that support system around you.
One of my favorite performances that you gave, Darlin, was last week. Probably my favorite of all, because of how personal it was and how it spoke directly to the story that Paul would have mentioned moments ago. I want for you to go back to that last week's performance. You performed your original song dedicated to your late sister. Tell us about putting that particular song together and what it meant for you to perform it.
So, to give you a precursor, the audition day that I came in, which was the Sunday, was actually the anniversary of her death, the 22nd of June. And it was a very kind of difficult day for me. And so even the song that I did for the auditions was in many ways not necessarily dedicated to her, but it was just like a reminder. Like, I sang Righteous Brothers, I'm forgetting the song now, but anyway, I always keep a bit of her with me, you know, the memories of her, you know, abundantly joyful spirit. It is something that I choose to remember every single day. And to put that performance together was something that, like I said, I had already planned. And it was, even in planning, it was one of the most difficult parts of that process. I was very close with her, and she, in many ways, was one of my support systems as well. She would always tell me, you know, she loved my singing, and she couldn't sing herself, but she was an artist in her own way. She was very gifted artistically with drawing and stuff like that. And so I would always, you know, give her compliments, and then she would compliment me, and it was just like a beautiful thing. But to put that performance together, I really had to dig deep. And in writing that song, I think it took me like 3 days of full, just like with myself, with my emotions, with my thoughts, my memories. And when everything finally came together, I remember writing the last line, was actually the second verse, and that was like I was like battling a lot of different things at that moment. It was what it felt like, you know. But it's a beautiful reminder to me that her spirit still lives on in many ways, you know, and even at work where I now work, where she used to work, everyone still remembers her as that person, you know, and so that's the way I choose to remember her. She faced a lot of difficulties in life as well, and unfortunately she was not able to handle those things, and so, but yeah.
Can we expect to have that song recorded and released? I'm certainly interested.
Same. I told you that when I sat down with you.
It's actually already recorded.
Okay.
So when I was writing and producing the track for it, we actually recorded everything. So my vocal is on that already. I do plan to release it at some point. I'm not really sure exactly when. I'll have to sit on that one for a while, but it won't be very
not too long.
No, it won't be
not
very
too long
but,
because you've already given it to us, and we already like it. So the longer you wait, we have got problems, right? So, but you've talked about tragedy and triumph in your life, and you've rightly said that it hasn't always been easy, and that there's been good moments, but it hasn't always been easy. What have you done or been able to do during those days or during those times or periods when it's not been easy, when life just feels like it's completely falling in on you and crushing you? Because I think it's an important question to ask, given that at this moment you're on a mountaintop celebrating triumph, but getting here hasn't been the smoothest process, and there's been a lot of hurdles. What have you done in those periods? Sometimes I know it could be long, it could be short. What have you done?
I've not always handled it well. I can say that much. I have not always handled it well, but the beauty of it is that one thing remains the same, and that's that my faith has remained the same. There was a period of time where I felt like I was straying, and I truly was. There was a lot of things happening in my life, and I really didn't know how to manage it, and I managed it very poorly. But even when I chose to do other things and acted, you know, outside of my faith, I realized that God was still the same, and He does not change, and that's the beautiful thing about that whole situation. He does not change. His promises are the same, His mercies are the same, and so I found that even when the difficult times happen, the only posture should be on my knees. So.
Last night, you were also able to perform with last year's KTV Season 6 winner, Chelsea Castro. And I feel like, you know, for persons who watch pageants and stuff like that, they call it at least superstition, you know, it's kind of like you're bringing the wind to you. But tell us about organizing that performance and what it meant to you to perform alongside her. It was amazing, by the way. I absolutely loved that performance.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been wanting to perform with her for a while. As I mentioned, I was actually living out in San Pedro for nearly 2 years, and she's a phenomenal
it's like she
performer.
tells a story as well in her performance. It's so beautiful.
I mean, the first time I heard her singing live, it blew me away. And so for me, it was like I really, really wanted to be able to have that opportunity. And I'm definitely grateful for KTV for, you know, putting on this platform to get that opportunity. I had actually reached out to her, it was maybe last year, around the time when she had won. And I know that she was very busy and probably, you know, around the same time. So it was like, I understand that things.
She's a superstar.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, but well, actually, I met her in person.
Oh, okay, yes, you did say that.
It was in person, and so, but it was super cool, super chill, and I was able to then meet her again for the introductory week of KTV. She performed as well, and she remembered me. I was like, hey, like, you know, we had spoke, you know, a long time ago. She's like, well, yes, I remember, you know, this and that, and so I kind of brought it up to her then, but not really saying like, hey, like, do you want to do it for KTV? And then a few weeks in, when we were about halfway through the competition, I was like, they proposed you need to perform it so and so or so and so or so and so. And I was like, okay, well, I've wanted to perform with her for the longest, so why not, take this opportunity now?
One of the other things that I also wanted to point out, the band that you brought with you.
Yeah.
I think it goes without saying that KTV has been able to mold the artists, the musicians that we see throughout the different generations. And we saw that in your band as well, or with your band as well, in terms of the vocalists. I believe it was last year, 2 years ago, winner. Jenny Lee that was there.
You had Elijah
and
there.
he was a part of a season as well.
Do you see a theme here?
Exactly.
A lot of the good talent.
And
the
I
best
just thought
talent
that was...
side there, no? I have to make her know.
He's talking Belmopan. I'm talking the fact that KTV has been able to bring out a lot of the artists that we would see perform on these bands or with these bands. Even in the judges, some of the performers that you guys would have been able to perform alongside, they've also had some crossing with KTV. Speak to that, the artists that you've been able to interact with and their kind of like recognition of KTV and how this competition has molded them into being an artist.
Yeah, I've known Jenny Lee and Elijah for a very long time, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, well, I guess they do, but Jenny Lee's family is very musical inclined. Brother Frem is, a legend.
Correct.
A legend in and of himself. Mr. Norales, his sister is a phenomenal singer. Phenomenal singer. She's another person that I would love to perform with at some point. It's just not happened yet, but KTV is, I think, in many ways doing things right, because we've seen time and time again where artists come from, either first, second, or third, or maybe even they dropped out before and then make a name for themselves otherwise. And so I was fortunate enough to come from Belmopan, where they are all kind of bubbling. The music scene is very full there. There's a lot of musicians, and the band that I put together was a testament to that. I was so grateful for them. I kind of asked them a bit late because we were trying to coordinate certain things, but they surprised me last night, truthfully. So.
Yeah, they did too as well, and I think what's good now is that 501 Genesis has 2 KTV winners now.
Yeah.
Jenny Lee and yourself. You forget Elijah on board, right?
Bring him back.
So maybe next year, one other band member, LJ. I just say but it shows the quality in terms of that band itself. The big question everybody is asking, and I know you mentioned it, some of it last night, but it's no longer what if, it is what will.
Or what now.
But along with what now, what will you do with the 10,000? And then you can talk about what now as well.
Yeah, I have a few different plans. $10,000 is a good amount of money, right? I am in production, or I do production rather, music production, and I've always had a dream to kind of start my own companies and different stuff. So I'm kind of looking into some ventures with that. I also really love coffee. So
you gonna buy some coffee or a coffee machine?
Well, I used to work for a coffee shop.
Okay.
So we're going to see how that plays out. One of my friends, my coworkers actually, he keeps nagging me. He's like, bro, you have to buy this coffee machine. Like, please, we need coffee,
Yeah.
So I still haven't. I've formulated my plan. I still have certain details that I need to kind of rough out the edges for, but I do have somewhat of a plan.
You clearly come off as a planner, and I could appreciate that, being a planner myself. But a lot of people also want to know, how do we book you? What happens now?
So actually, I brought with me
a winner card already.
Not a black card. He's like, take my card. Speak to my manager.
I'm shocked if you got KTV winner on it already.
My card here.
Okay. Just lift it up and we'll zoom into it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, hold
It's
it
here.
right there. So
Wow.
that's Darlene Usher. You got your number. Alright. I
Yeah.
have your Instagram, music, and more.
Lovely.
so
Nice.
yeah.
Are you busy this week already?
I
I know you're tired from last night's partying. You said you only got an hour's sleep like a true rock star.
I'm actually just about fully booked out for this week.
Okay.
I've actually had to, unfortunately, tell some people no. Turn down some gigs, but I definitely appreciate them considering me nonetheless, you know. And if you do want to book me, please do. I love singing. I just love performing, and so whether it be celebrations of any kind, corporate events, you know, I just do it all.
Do you
And
go
so
to school or work full time?
I work full time, but I was actually just in a meeting with my boss, like, you barely even work here anymore.
Yeah. They might fire you.
No, yeah.
Especially knowing now that you seem like you know.
Yeah, you don't need
you're-
that money
You don't
no
need
more.
that money.
Well, yeah, that maybe I still do. Please don't fire me. Please don't. No, but I've definitely appreciated them so much. They've given me, you know, the time off to participate in this. Not only that, but they've sponsored me throughout this competition, and so I'm very grateful for them.
Yeah.
100%.
Excellent.
All right. Well, darling, it has been a pleasure sitting down with you and learning a bit more about your story, talking about what this journey for season 7 KTV has been like. We wish you all the best, and we hope to have you back very soon performing for us again.
For sure. Thank you guys so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, we take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to jump into a feature. I know, Paul, we're going there now. You visited Mayan World Adventures before.
A couple years back.
A couple years back. I have not yet, but for persons who might be interested
Last
in
year,
what that
actually.
experience is like, let's jump straight into that now.
Since last year. All right, and so today we are at the Maya World Adventure Park, and of course I am with my lovely wife Amber Lopez. And at the Maya World Adventure Park, there's so many things to do. You have cave tubing, you have waterfalls, you have horseback riding, you have the ATV jungle tour. What are you looking forward to the most today?
Today we are doing the ATV jungle tour and the river tubing. I am most excited for that cool river tubing.
I, for one, definitely am excited about the ATV jungle tour. Are you ready to just jump right into this?
Ready as ever.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
Man, look at the ATVs. They have a lot.
Yeah, I know I want the yellow one.
Yeah, I want the red one.
But are you going to be on soon?
Maybe, I don't know. And they have gears,
Yes.
goggles,
I
masks.
like this one.
Do you? Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Fe-
Paul.
Fedrito,
Frigito.
Amber.
Amber.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to my office.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
we are at Mayan World destination.
Yes.
And of course, this is where we do, you know, a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, it's not only ATV ride, but a lot of times when people get to see the bikes, you know, they get too excited.
Yes.
They forget that we do other stuff.
Right.
You know, but let me tell you that we do. If you come over on this board, you know, we have all these you know, the different tours that we do. Just let me remove these.
Yes.
We have different tours. So we do river tubing, so which we are going to do that today. And then we have the waterfall rappelling.
Oh, so you do that?
Yes,
as well?
we have the zip lining. Then we have the ATV adventure, which is going to do this morning. And then we have the hiking trail. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that sounds, that sounds like an exercise.
Yeah, definitely. So you don't really have to go to gym.
Yeah.
You know, when you come to Mayan World, you know, early in the morning, you could hike off one of our trail. You know, so, and then also we have the horseback riding. So those are the package deal that we have in terms of when you visit my office.
Yeah, so when people come, do they combine the tours
Yes,
sometimes?
so pretty much we have a combination. That combination is the zip lining and the river tubing, which takes you like about pretty much a half day to do that.
Nice.
You know, which your people would zip first, and then from there, you know, they would float down the river. So those, if you combine that, it will take you like roughly about 3 to 4 hours doing that tour.
What do we do now?
So of course, you know, we're gonna jump on one of these bikes. You know, and if you notice, we have, you know, a line of these bikes. This is our waiver form, so you can go ahead and fill that out.
Oh wow, that fits perfectly. We're going on an adventure.
The tour consists of going through a farm. Then from there we get under the canopy. We get side of the foothills that we see on the road. Sometimes when you're driving down south, you will see those foothills. So we're gonna get very close to that. We have a trail that goes there, and then we're gonna do a loop ending back here again. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. Let's do this. So both of us, we have a manual shift, you know, a manual engine here, which is you're gonna shift with your foot. You know, you gotta tap it with your foot. This is where it's gonna work, Amber. So you gotta put your foot underneath the lever. Underneath the lever, Paul. Underneath, yes, there you go. So that is how you're gonna shift. But every tap, every click that you do with your foot, it's telling you that you're going into a gears, and then you're moving faster. Okay? Go ahead and press it.
Hi, hi, hi.
I stopped here. I was looking at the flower of the tree, but like I was saying earlier, this tree is very famous in Belize. A lot of people know it as tonic tree, but it's a provision tree. A lot of culture know this in Belize, that when they hear about provision tree, it helps you in terms of building up your blood. So that's actually the flower. So let's go again.
Yeah, well, so far we've seen quite a bit of jungle terrain. It's been an awesome ride. The bike isn't as hard to maneuver as some may think. It's pretty straightforward, and if you're not used to driving anything manual or standard, this is pretty easy to do. Man, we are having a great time here so far. Let's continue. Use your brakes, right, babe?
Fine along the way. We still have fun on the river. It doesn't matter which time of the year you come. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
That was a great journey. What's your thoughts on it?
That was exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
Very relaxing, very calm. The scenery was beautiful. The sound of the crashing waves, amazing.
I wish I got a video of the snake that we saw. A snake actually fell from a tree.
A vine snake.
A vine snake, non-venomous, kind of unharmful snake. But apart from that, and even the rapids, the rapids gives you that type of excitement and adventure that you're looking for on these types of things. And again, our tour guide was with us for the entire way. He was excellent.
He kept us safe.
Yeah, so that was really good, man. That was really good. Big up to Maya World and the entire crew here.
That's right. We've come to the end of our Maya World adventure and it was nothing short of amazing. First we did the
ATV
jungle tour, which was very thrilling.
Yeah.
And then we winded down with a very cool
river
tubing. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was definitely the ATV. I got a hang of that ATV ride. And despite the dust, it was just amazing for me because of the thrill and the excitement. For you?
For me, it was washing off and relaxing as we were floating down the very beautiful river, looking at the scenery. It was all just simply amazing. So all of it was great.
And now with those two tours out of the way, we're hungry. And so we've come to Maya King Grill and Beer Garden for some food. We're gonna enjoy some food. We're gonna wrap this up and we're gonna say see you later.
Let's go.
Easy. Accessible. Safe. Yours. Digi Wallet. Easy, accessible, safe, yours.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality, choose reliability, choose GE. Paid for by homeowners who demand better appliances.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. This is our second conversation this morning, and as we said, it's all about sitting down with one of the judges of this season's KTV The Remix. We are joined by Andazi Pantona. She was one of the permanent faces for the judging panel for this season. We also saw you perform last night, girl.
Gosh. Good morning,
Mic drop,
guys.
rapping, all of that. I mean, I think people really sleep on Andazi, especially if you, well, I saw you perform for the first time about 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. After that, I was like, no, we will take no slurs against Andazi. No slurs. But welcome this morning.
You.
How you feeling? We
quite
just wrapped
honestly, I would give my performance last night a solid 7.
up. Okay. That way you may have score yourself.
I want advice you may give to yourself.
Listen, I struggle with nerves like Karina. That's why I'm happy whenever I got a chance to comment on her performances, right? That was a hard thing to put under control.
Yeah.
Like my nerves manifest in my extremities. So like holding a mic, my hand had to shake, my foot had to shake. So it's something that I've had to work through my entire career. And you know, it wasn't until I went to acting school and I really got that kind of education and training where they talk about, you know, connecting to the song and the words that you're singing, that I was able to get it a little bit under control. So when I am not in that space, I know I give you the best performance, you know, and I think I wasn't in that space last night. You know, I have a very busy life and, you know, I'm not one of the contestants, so I'm not there prepping every week and stuff like that. And I always know when it comes down to performance, it's going to be a challenge for me. So it's to make time, to be prepared, to do the work, because it's a lot of work.
And I was just going to say, so it goes to show that it's not easy to go on stage
Nothing
and perform.
about this is easy. That's why I said last night, and I'll say it again, and I've always been saying it. Even the people who come into audition, I give them props. You know, some people don't know that they can't sing or they don't sing good because people, they're up in the background and, like, you sing amazing.
Yeah, your family will
you know,
do nothing wrong.
Right. And sometimes you don't know. So to step out and put yourself in the public eye like this, whether you're a performer, whether you're a talk show host, a news anchor, a dancer, anything that puts you in the public eye, you know, it's not easy. And you are by default putting yourself up for scrutiny. And just like I could give feedback to the contestants, I'm not delusional on, you know, the feedback that I can give to myself as well.
You know, one of the things though I really want for us to highlight very quickly, and I know that you're kind of the type to not want to brag about yourself, but a lot of people throughout the season, whenever you go about giving maybe a little bit firmer type of feedback to contestants, and like, you could even sing,
Yeah.
You know, that's the first thing that they would ask. But I think we saw last night that you do have singing ability, but other than that, you're well-rounded. You've been in the entertainment industry, not only here in Belize, but even outside of Belize for a very long time.
Yes.
You've studied this as well.
Yes.
Highlight that, and the fact that you speak from a place of experience, but a place of knowledge as well.
Right. And you know, it's funny, I was thinking about it the other day. When so much drama was happening and people are questioning you, because I'll never defend myself. My work speaks for itself, and if you notice, people in the industry will not bash me, and there's a reason why they won't bash me, because I've been in this for almost 30 years in terms of the industry.
You just look young.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I was 15.
Yeah, it's amazing.
When I came on the scene as part of Henchmob, I was in high school. We were recording an album while I was in high school, you know, trying to graduate from high school, doing CXCs, and you know what I mean? So I've been in this industry from the age of 15, almost 30 years, locally and internationally.
That's amazing.
I have been in front of the camera, behind the camera, TV, live show, you know, whatever you want to call it. I've produced, I've, you know, been out internationally, worked at a record label, had friends in the industry who work at major labels. You know, I've done acting classes in New York, and even before I was 15, I was doing Festival of Arts, singing in church, you know, doing the school choir and school plays and all this stuff. It's really my life.
I'm telling you.
And my parents are musicians.
Yes.
You know, both my parents are on the Frankie Reno Mass and Blues. They were musicians for the majority of their lives until they started having children. When I was born, my dad was still a musician playing, you know, in Belize and in Mexico and places like that.
So your experience would would inform you and make you aware that one, it's not easy to be on stage.
Not at all.
But two, you also have to navigate the attention that you get for being a face and a name that so many people know. What's perhaps the challenges with that, or the hurdle that you have to cross, or the wall you could find yourself hitting as a result of all this attention coming to you at once, especially with KTV that has thousands of viewers on every weekly?
It's multifaceted, you know. In my own personal journey, like, first of all, I'm not the outgoing people. Most people are like, oh, that's a she always on TV and shit. That is not my nature. I rather sit down, you know, a corner, read a book. You know, I just said, like, I love traveling. I love things like that, you know, and I'm not somebody who necessarily loves to interact with people on the regular. I've learned how to do it over the years because
we get it, girl.
It's necessary, you know. And then I'm also a deeply emotional person, which most artists are, because it takes you breaking yourself open, you know, to present art, you know. So I'm a highly emotional person, so I understand when people get frustrated, when they get angry. So you have to regulate that, and you have to regulate that with how you present yourself, because whether you like it or not, you're an example, you're a role model, you're whatever it is that people want to take you as, you know. And then even for me, like, I think when I was performing in New York, I had to struggle with this a lot. I don't necessarily like people I don't know touching me. That's the first thing people want to do when they see somebody that, because you're inspiring people, right, in whatever way. And so they get excited, and you have to understand that that's their reaction, you know. So you have to set boundaries that are not offensive to people, you know. But you come off a stage and people are so excited about your performance, and the first thing they want to do is hug you. Like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. And, you know, so that's something I really I struggle with a lot when I was in New York, because, you know, people are just so excited, and you have a venue where you're performing like 100, 200 people is a typical small venue in New York. So, you know, as you get off a stage, you're right there with people. You know, you don't really gotta have a chance to like run backstage and settle yourself or anything like that. So it's really, it's a challenge within yourself too.
Well, how would you compare the two? I mean, your experience that you've had outside of the country with exposure, and then the experience and what that could look like here in Belize, especially in this day and age where, you know, as you slip, we got your right on Facebook, we got your right on TikTok, on you know.
Well, back in the day when I was an artist, we didn't have all this social media stuff. But even then it was extreme because, you know, like I said, my entire life is music, right? So I've been around people who are musicians, who are performing, who are quote unquote famous. William is one of my best friends.
Yes.
I've literally known him since I was in elementary school.
Who's that? Who's that over there?
That's little young and Daisy.
Oh my gosh.
You know, so when
cuddling up on a catamaran.
When we were doing this kind of stuff, I didn't expect the level of quote unquote fame that we had. People would run up to us in the street and ask for autographs, and you know, Belizeans don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I never expected that kind of response when, as Henchmob, we put out our album. I didn't expect for people to come running up in the streets asking for autographs and still wanting to interact with you and hug you and stuff like that. But it was much less than out there. And also, you know, some people do this for fame. Some people do this for the Facebook memes and the attention. But a lot of us do it because it's just what we love and it's just what we need to do. You know, a lot of people as artists will say, I have to do this. This is my expression. I don't know how to do anything else. I have to do this. So it comes from a need, from a love, you know. And so as a professional with that mindset, you never think that you're the best. You can be confident. Like, I'm very confident in what I do. I'm very sure in what I do. I know that I'm good at this and I'm good at that. But you're always looking to level up. And when you're outside on the international market, you are consistently forced to level up. Nobody don't care about your feelings. Nobody care about your emotions. Nobody care that you're upset today. There's a job to do and you must do it professionally.
I love that we are setting the foundation to the type of feedback that you and the experience that you have to be able to give as a judge for KTV, because we've seen several types of people come on the stage all these years. I know for this year in particular, the season 7 has been talked about for being the one that brought in a lot of young people, a lot of fresh faces. But also its fair share of drama too. And I think that has to do with, you know, the day and age that we're in. Y'all have a lot of different personalities, as you said just now. People will come because they want their 5 minutes. And then there are people who are in the competition because they want to genuinely grow. I personally think one of those persons could be identified as Maureen. She came on the show and every week she's just trying to soak in every single thing that you guys would say feedback wise.
Her intention was so clear from the beginning. And in the beginning you would hear people, oh, they're not like Maureen. No, we recognize who Maureen was and what her goal was. And so it was much easier to give her harder critique because we knew that she was taking that and putting it into action and using it for growth.
But some people might say that's unfair. Because
it's not unfair because
the judging on
you know. Let me tell you something. I'm a very straightforward and honest person. I come from a place where people know tell me I sound good if I don't sound good. You know, I'm a family of musicians. No musician I look by you, I tell you a song amazing if you don't, even if they're your family. My power be the first one for tell me, we're going on at you, they're way out of key, San Pedro. You know what I mean? Meaning like you were not here. You were not in key. You were not. Yeah. You were not on point, you know, and that's what I grew up with. I mean, Tanya Carter went live and she said it, you know, I had all these yes people around me, and the minute I stepped outside of Belize, I realized that I don't know the hottest shit. Sorry. Ooh, no, that's okay. You know, and I had to come to terms with, oh wow, you know, I have some work to do. And like I said, as a professional, there's always work to do. So is it fair? My first year of KTV, like I said, I'm always honest. So as someone who's producing shows and hiring musicians in my later years in the industry, a lot of upcoming artists will send you their music and, you know, ask for feedback. And the first thing I tell them is, you sure you want real feedback? Because I'm not lie to you. You know, so when I came on KTV, I was like, oh, awesome, I do this all the time. But to sit there and critique someone who is putting themselves out there in front of a crowd of judging people live as well as online, and those online comments are nasty. if you can't take it, I am not going to sit there and break you down in the public, because that's essentially what I'm doing, because your character cannot handle it.
One of my favorite iPhone message sticker right now is your facial reaction to that moment the mic dropped. Right? That has become one of my favorite phone sticker.
Just perfect reaction.
Outside of the drama, or external to the drama, what lesson do you think creatives can take away from that moment, that mic drop moment, about how to react to situations that does not go in your favor?
We don't drop mics, we rock mics.
Yeah.
Listen, people could be as upset as they want about what I had to say in my artistic expression last night. But 2 facts. The line about even if the mic feedback and sound whack, we wrote that when I was 16 or something. Why? Because back then, sound systems were set up mostly for DJs. People weren't necessarily doing live performances. We were performing everywhere. I mean, house party, wedding, variety shows, anything you could think, anywhere we had a mic, we made it perform. Because we were hungry and we loved it. So we would go many places that's not set up for a live performance. So technical difficulties was a norm. And so that line was written as sort of a rebellion. Right? So every time we had a show, and especially if the mic may whack, that's one of the songs that we would sing, and people would get hyped because it just spoke to your passion and the fact that the show must go on.
Yeah. And that's show business.
And
and then the mic drop.
I told you guys behind the scenes, I was an advocate for Marquita. I think that she can sing, and I think that if she would take feedback as growth, and as a way to improve her singing abilities, and she has a character that people like, so when there was that moment where she did stop singing, and then there was a mic drop moment, right? So when she stopped singing, like even in the judges' chair, we was like, come on, you can do it, because it's a difficult moment, and we knew behind the scenes that she had a difficult day. It's not something that she spoke about, but we knew. Somebody had told us, and so we were like, come on girl, like you got this. But it's and you never know how you're gonna react in the moment. So I'm not gonna judge her or Tafara for her reaction in the moment. It's not the best reaction. When you're out in the public, you have to be aware that you have to conduct yourself in a certain way. But listen, even if the mic feedback and sound whack, we still get to show off the hook despite that. And we don't drop mics, we rock mics. That's not my message, plain and clear.
Clear.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk now about the winner of the competition, Darlon. I think based on the judges' feedback week after week, he evolved throughout the show. Talk about that of evolution, what you all observed, and how deserving he is of this win.
And not to take the focus off Darlon, but I just want to say quickly that all of those 3 contestants evolved tremendously throughout this competition. To see Sam finally come out of his shell.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Right? From last week. Oh my gosh.
No, before that.
Oh.
Yeah, that was he was dancing, Michael Bublé.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, I didn't even know this song. I'm like, what? And it was, and I'm sure he was fulfilled in that moment to see that reaction, because you're always fearful of what the reaction is going to be when you show yourself. The biggest fear is, will people even like me when I show you who I am?
Yeah.
And everybody's, I'm not affected by it anymore. I'm not a child anymore. I've grown in this industry for almost 30 years.
Let's think about it though.
But so you're always affected, like, if I show you who I am, are you gonna like me? And he was so validated in that moment. And so was Maureen last night when she did her feeling song again. It was it was again another improvement. And Darlon is the poster boy for that. He has a soft voice too, if you notice. And he came and he had his little shy moments, but you could tell that he was a performer. And then each week he got more and more into it. And you know, he took the critique from the judges, he went back, he worked on it. He had a goal, he had a vision.
One of the things that he said,
he is what he has and why I believe he's definitely justified in being the winner is that he has become or has shown us that he's well-rounded.
Yeah.
He has the vocal ability, he's multi-talented as a musician, and he's a performer.
Yeah. So he was on the couch with us moments ago, and he said something that really stood out to me, that he prepared or he planned for every single genre even before he started the competition. Is that an advice that you would give to anyone else who would come on?
You know, and like I said, that's why you can see the difference with people who come on for fame and people who come on with a goal. You know, it's about being prepared. You know, somebody else said, you know, the 10 songs that they have to pick from the bowl, they know what the 10 songs are.
Yeah.
And somebody said they prepared all those songs. I don't remember which contestant said that. But that's a part of being ready for whatever comes, especially when you're in television. You don't know what's going to come.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a mark of someone who is aiming to be a professional.
And it was such a pleasure having you as one of our permanent judges on this show. I have to say kudos to you for staying above the negative throughout the entire show, for staying focused on what the job and the objective is, for giving good feedback, and really for being a support to these contestants. And so definitely we appreciate your work with this show. You also have an interesting piece here that I really want to show off.
We highlighted you. I know a lot of people look at you as a fashionista as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen, I
let's
have
talk
a whole
about that.
team.
Yeah. So before we send you off,
yes,
we want to talk a bit about, just highlight this bag.
And right before I get it, I just want to say thank you to Greater Belize Media for even being this platform. We don't have a lot of opportunities as artists coming up to go through this, you know, even the part where people want to say, oh, it's about votes and whatever. That's a part of the industry as well.
Yes.
If you don't have supporters, you're not going to survive no matter how amazing you are. Especially in New York, there are amazing musicians living on the streets because there's no support.
Yeah.
You know, so that is a part of it. So thank you to Greater Belize Media for even providing this platform. But yes, let me get down to my thank yous. My little purse here, I have to show off. Listen, I'm very supportive of the arts overall, you know, and my niece hand painted this bag.
Look at that.
I got the bag too.
Oh,
You
wow.
know,
Nice.
she's never done it before. It's something that I saw trending this year or last year. And I was like, you know what? Because she paints. I'm like, hand paint this bag for me. You know, and do your own thing.
I like the
and
colors,
yeah.
the graffiti type of vibe to that brings
Yes.
to
It
the
says
bag.
Diva,
What's her name?
Slay, Star.
Nayeli Panton.
Nayeli. Big up you, Nayeli.
Yeah, so she also sings. And you know, I just want to highlight people around me who are talented. My makeup artist is also my niece, Amara Munoz. You can find her at Glammed by Mars on Instagram. Not today, not me to this, but for the Tuesday nights. You know, she was definitely beating up the face. And you know, I have a whole crew behind the scenes. Like I would usually go and you know, shop and pick my pieces or whatever, but I have my crew. William is part of that crew. My friend Charlena Seta, my niece Leah Haylock, and they'll like be like, oh, put that with this or no, you know. And just like how someone never like my outfits this year, they never like it neither, you know. So I mean, everything is always a work in progress. You don't always get it right. And you know, I have my hairstylist on the days when my hair look amazing, that my hairstylist do it. On the days that it doesn't, I'm gonna rush out the door like, oh, I have to do something tonight, you know. But and then of course to Angela Acevedo and Natalie Hemans, who does my nails. So you know, it takes a team. And my sister and her husband Carol and Keon, who chauffeured me to KTV every Tuesday night. You know, thank you guys so much, and you know, thank you for your talent and for helping me through this journey as a judge.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, it's been a fun one.
Yes.
We'll see you next year again. All right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Not me trying to speak it into existence.
You're hired.
All right, we take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, I'll be sitting down with some stunning ladies, and it's all about crowning confidence, meeting the Miss Belmopan delegates.
Of the Mexican Caribbean. A whole spectrum of colors and hues, multi-dimensional cuisine, holographic beaches. The true new era is within you.
We at Fulltech Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At Fulltech Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
My name is Leomar Langzert, and I'm a teacher, and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is to see the features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
Coming up, the best of Barbados and more at Carifesta 15. International interns enjoy breakthrough opportunities. History with a side of salsa. Yes, we're in San Juan. Community programs in Dominica receive a major boost. The home base with all you can ask for. It's all next on this station.
Oh man, one more stroll and my data is done.
Wait, who said anything about running out? Smart just dropped a more powerful plan that now includes social media data so you can scroll till your fingers cramp.
Enjoy free social media data now included in our Flex Choice and Select postpaid plans.
Visit any Smart showroom to sign up today because connectivity just got even better. Smart, bringing people together.
There's so many different factors which can impact on your digestive system because there's a very strong connection between your intestinal tract and your central nervous system or your brain. So your digestive system is sometimes referred to as your second brain, your second nervous system, because the connections are very strong between the two, and one can impact it very heavily on the other one.
A message that I want persons to take away is that food is to be enjoyed, but because of the high risk of non-communicable diseases in our region, we're finding that food plays a factor in contributing to that. And if we can start by cutting down even the starchy foods, that makes a difference.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
This September, the music gets louder, the costumes get brighter, and the streets of Belize explode with color and culture. Greater Belize Media brings you the ultimate carnival experience, from lineup to last lap. Join our live coverage on Saturday, September 6th, starting at 1 p.m. from Memorial Park all the way to Marion Jones Stadium. Carnival 2025 marks 50 years of rhythm, resistance, and revelry, and we will bring it to you every step of the way, from lineup to last lap. Carnival 2025 on Greater Belize Media. See you there.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. This is our third conversation, and I'm really joined by some beautiful ladies this morning. And the conversation is all about crowning confidence. We are introducing you guys to the Miss Belmopan Delegates. Joining me this morning is Councillor Florita Botes. She's coming from Belmopan, and she brought with her 3 of 7 delegates, but there are a total of 8 in this particular pageant. We have here with us Miss Salvapan Sandy Diaz Salgado, Miss Las Flores Patricia Hernandez, and Miss Site 7 Prayer Morales. Good morning, ladies, again, and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you. So this is exciting, Miss Belmopan. I know coming from Belmopan, you can expect great musicians. We showed you that earlier in the show, but also great beauty queens as well. You guys definitely take pageants seriously out there, yes?
We
yes,
do.
Let's talk about this initiative, and I understand that it's coming from the Belmopan City Council.
Yes.
Let's talk about what it seeks to achieve.
Speaking with my colleagues and the mayor, we have realized that Belmopan has not had a pageant for some years now, and it's something that Councillor Deputy Curator Banner and myself said we hold the woman empowerment portfolio, and she holds the affair, and we said, why not a pageant?
Yeah.
I mean, Belmopan have not seen Miss Belmopan for so many years, and we started to look for girls around the city. These girls, they live in the area that they represent, and we have representations throughout the city, just like in our team.
Yeah.
And we are preparing them for bigger stages, so we place the requirements that you cannot be married, you cannot have kids at a certain age.
Yeah.
And we end up with a lot of applications. It was a lot of work to select these 8 girls, and we are here with our pageant date already. It's going to be this Friday at the UB Gym at 7 o'clock, and tickets are running out.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely invite all of Belmopanese and everyone who wants to come and join us on this pageant.
You know what's really cool? I opened the conversation by saying that we know great beauty queens to come from Belmopan, or from Cayo, I guess I should say. But it's been a while since you guys have hosted a pageant.
That's correct.
Excuse me. I want to talk about the portfolio, women empowerment, and the work that has been coming out of that portfolio from the council itself, and how this particular pageant ties in with that and highlights women empowerment.
Okay, so our delegates, it's not only about beauty. When we decided to go along with this pageant, we wanted a queen that can say, what can I do for my community? How can I be an inspiration for my community? So we have asked each delegate to have an advocacy. We have advocacies such as domestic violence, we have mental health, we have diabetes, and to empower the woman in our community, and why not countrywide, but we are starting on Belmopan.
Yeah.
And so we are trying to bring that back on where we change the mentality of pageantry, because in our delegates you will see when the other four comes on, we have different sizes, different colors, different cultures.
Yeah.
So we are trying to feel empower the woman and the young ladies in our community.
Well, we want to hear from them ourselves, and so we're going to start off with Miss Sandy Diaz Salgado. She is Miss Salvapan, as I mentioned. Introduce yourself to us.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sandy Diaz Salgado. I am representing my beautiful community, Miss Salvapan. Well, about me, I'm an athlete person. I just graduated from high school from my beautiful Our Lady of Guadalupe High School. And well, for me, I think I'm a very athlete person. I love volleyball, football, basketball a little bit.
Yeah. What's your platform, or what are you advocating for?
I am advocating for mental health.
Okay.
For teens and young women. I believe that many teens, guys too, they tend to go through stress, anxiety, and depression, and they hide a smile because they're afraid to get judged or just misunderstood.
Yeah. So we have Patricia Hernandez here. She's representing Las Flores. I think what's also really awesome is that she is 25 years old. So we have from 17 to 25, and you are on the older range of the delegates. Tell us a bit about yourself.
And good morning, everyone. As Miss Sabrina mentioned, my name is Patricia Hernandez, and I'm 25 years old, and I'm coming from a beautiful community, Las Flores. And first of all, I would say thank you for having us here. It's an honor to be here. I'm currently pursuing my associate degree in primary education. A little bit of myself is I spend most of my time at the library. I love to read books. One of my special books are the folklore, Belizean stories, or sometimes it's Caribbean stories. So I spent most of my time reading and learning more.
What are you advocating for?
My advocacy is based on my children. Well, not my children, but all the children in my community or in Belmopan. I'm advocating for the language barriers and the lack of resources. As myself, I had challenge with those. And I want to inspire all children that even though we have many challenges, but if we keep going, we'll accomplish our goals.
All right. Well, beautiful.
Thank
All right,
you.
we have here also with us in pink, Prayer Morales. She's representing Miss Site 7.
Well, good morning. Again, thank you for having us here. My name is Prayer Morales, and I'm representing the beautiful Site 7. My advocacy is about empowering youths through entrepreneurship so that they can continue to have smooth sailing on the tidal waves of the economic ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yes.
What made you decide to be a part of this pageant?
What made me decide to be a part of this pageant is I believe that any human being should have the ambition to achieve something great. And I view the Miss Belmopan pageant as the perfect vessel to enable me to achieve my greatest aspiration, which is again to see young people thrive in the economic ecosystem.
Wonderful. Well-spoken ladies. I know the judges will have quite the task to decide who fits the Miss Belmopan title of 8. So what we're going to do at this point is take a very short break, and when we come back, we will be joined by the other 4 delegates of the 8 that are joined with us this morning, and we'll also be joined by coordinator Kia Pastor. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a short moment.
Thank you.
earn V-Bucks, you must make purchases at any Benny's locations or its entities near you. The more you spend, the more you earn. You also get double the V-Bucks on promotional days. Multiple purchases completed in a single day cannot be combined and will be considered separately. Benny's is committed to offering you competitive prices on all your purchases. Now value is added with V-Bucks. To learn more, visit our website at www.vbucks.bz. Remember, loyalty is always rewarding with V-Bucks. Brought to you by Benny's. Quality and savings.
Smart, bringing people together.
Coming up, the best of Barbados and more at Carifesta 15. International interns enjoy breakthrough opportunities. History with a side of salsa. Yes, we're in San Juan. Community programs in Dominica receive a major boost. The home base with all you can ask for. It's all next on this station.
This September, the music gets louder, the costumes get brighter, and the streets of Belize explode with color and culture. Greater Belize Media brings you the ultimate carnival experience, from lineup to last lap. Join our live coverage on Saturday, September 6th, starting at 1 p.m. from Memorial Park all the way to Marion Jones Stadium. Carnival 2025 marks 50 years of rhythm, resistance, and revelry, and we will bring it to you every step of the way, from lineup to last lap. Carnival 2025 on Greater Belize Media. See you there.
Yo, what's up, bro? This Western Union mom's a little money using DigiWallet. Uncle in the States pays me too, same app. Using DigiWallet. Bro, this is too easy. I can do this from anywhere. No lines, no hassle, just easy. All right, gotta run, bro. Take it easy.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
My name is Leomar Langzert, and I'm a teacher, and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
This September, the music gets louder, the costumes get brighter, and the streets of Belize explode with color and culture. Greater Belize Media brings you the ultimate carnival experience, from lineup to last lap. Join our live coverage on Saturday, September 6th, starting at 1 p.m. from Memorial Park all the way to Marion Jones Stadium. Carnival 2025 marks 50 years of rhythm, resistance, and revelry, and we will bring it to you every step of the way, from lineup to last lap. Carnival 2025 on Greater Belize Media. See you there.
This is part 2 of our sit down with the Belmopan, Miss Belmopan delegates, and we're joined by 3 more of the 8 that we told you about. Here with us is Miss San Martin, Miss Kohunwak, I should say, Vashti Thompson, Miss San Martin, Nayeli Oriano, Miss Belmopan, Christina Chok, Miss JNW, Shania Petch, and to my immediate left, we have Miss Kia Pastor. She is a coordinator of this pageant, and of course, a pageant, I'd say, enthusiast, a pageant expert, and really one of the key persons behind the scene in putting together this initiative, of course, that comes from the Belmopan City Council. Ladies, thanks so much for joining us, and welcome. How you guys feeling?
Excited. A bit nervous, but I'm excited to be here.
Good nerves. I hope I'm not making you nervous, girl, because you got more to worry about on Friday. But let's talk about the behind the scenes work that has been put in place to prepare the ladies for this pageant. Kia?
Okay. Well, thank you so much again for having us. Well, we started off strong with a workshop. So it's the first workshop that has been done after the selection process, that's ever been done in Belmopan, I should say. And we really just broke down the do's and the don'ts, the criteria, our expectations of them, and how they should just prepare overall. We also went through the segments and from social media, do's and don'ts, and PR and everything. It was a really successful session, I would say. And from there, we've been practicing every day, Monday to Thursday.
She has a whole boot camp going on, guys.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Every week.
If we get some time, we can talk about key to pageantry. But one of the things that, of course, this initiative does is tie into the work that's being done or that's supposed to be done from the portfolio that seeks to empower women in Belmopan. I want to ask you in particular, how does pageantry empower women, Kia? Because you've not only been in a space of putting together this initiative, but you've been a Miss Belmopan yourself, and you've also you've partook in various other pageants before.
Yeah. So I think there's still this misconception that pageantry is just about beauty, but really and truly, pageantry will strip you naked to the core. You'll have an ego death. Whatever you thought it was, as soon as you join the process, that entire image will go out of your mind because you'll realize how much work it really takes. Like, pageantry is really about self-improvement, but not just self-improvement, but having a purpose and being a member of the community and using your platform and having a voice for the voiceless, basically. So it's not just about about your exterior, which is also not an easy thing to do, to always be groomed and always look professional and be presentable and have the right posture and having eyes on you and being in front of the public eye, that's not easy. But also these ladies have worked very hard on their speech, on their advocacies, because I mean you can't just be an empty barrel. And just their overall Q&A. So it has been hard work for them, but they've improved tremendously, especially when it comes to the media. You can only get better by practicing and by doing more media. So from their first interview to now, I've seen great improvement. So pageantry definitely is empowering, because it's an overall 180 you have to do in order to be successful.
Well, let's hear from the ladies themselves. We understand that a big part of this pageant has to do with advocacy. Let's begin with you, Miss Cahoon Walk, Vashti Thompson. What's your advocacy?
My advocacy is conservation through education with a focus on empowering youth and underserved communities. And basically what that means is that I'm trying to educate youth and those in underserved communities to live sustainably and to respect and protect the natural resources that we have here in Belize.
All right, we have also here Nayeli. What's your advocacy? And this is also not your first time partaking in a pageant. I understand of the four of you, you have experience in this.
Yes, I do have experience. I did join the Miss World pageant this year, 2025, and my advocacy focuses on diabetes prevention and improved care for those with the disease. When it comes to diabetes, it is something that is really close to my heart. Unfortunately, I have many family who have diabetes. My aunt recently passed away. She passed away on Monday because of diabetes.
Oh, condolences.
Thank you. So it is something that is very close to my heart, and seeing my family live that situation made me want to be able to make a change in my community and be able to just make a difference and educate people on why it is important to take care of yourself and to prevent diabetes.
We just had an extensive conversation about diabetes just yesterday. All right, we have Christina Chuck. Talk about your advocacy.
Well, I'm advocating for women's health and in a specific genre, cervical cancer. This is due to my mother passing away to cervical cancer 2 years ago. And it's something I've held close to my heart. I just want to put out there, having experienced firsthand how the lack of information around cervical cancer and women's health, the stigma around it. I just want to break the silence around women's health overall, because healthy women are empowered women, and empowered women create better communities.
Wow, that's right there. I just want to bottle that and save it for when I need to remember it. But that's an important piece of message right there. Shania, tell us about your advocacy.
So my advocacy is preventing domestic violence, but not only empowering and supporting survivors, but also preventing it in the community as well. So my goal is to prevent it, but also promoting self-defense, so that if you are in a situation, you can defend yourself. I think that's very important. I did a self-defense seminar, and it was a great turnout. It was really exciting. I plan to do a lot more of those, and also create programs to educate young girls and women so that they can recognize what domestic violence is, because there's a lot of misconceptions about it, and that they can protect themselves. So that's my goal.
Wow. I said it in the last with the last set of ladies that were here. You guys have a tough job on your hands to decide who should represent Belmopan with this title. You all sound well-spoken, intelligent, and you all look beautiful as well. Congratulations on even putting yourself forward in wanting to be a part of this pageant. Now, Kia, I know that the pageant date is set for Friday, and there was a lot of training involved. You coming from pageantry yourself, you've been able to use some of the information that you've acquired and molded it into a package of your own. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so in the past, the Miss Belmopan pageant has always been to select a representative for Queen of the Bay, but this year we're not doing that. We have a completely different platform. So this year, the grading criteria starts with your attitude and your character, and that's not a big one, but it's up there.
Yeah.
And then we have the pageant interviews with the judges, so the judges could actually personally get to know them. And then, of course, we have the introductions segment where they introduce themselves with an opening dance as well as speak about their advocacy. And then we have the swimsuit segment, which there hasn't been a swimsuit segment in Belmopan for maybe over 20 years.
Wow.
So we brought back the swimsuit segment. And then we have the evening gown segment, which will not be the puffy dresses. It will be the nice, elegant, beautiful dresses.
All right.
So, yes.
I also mentioned that you've been able to put a package together for based on your experience, because one of the things that I found really inspirational with you in particular, Kia, is the way that you've put together your own kind of personal platform called Keto Pageantry that has empowered women and molded women as well. Have you been able to use that or utilize some of that information in this particular initiative?
Yes, of course. Like, they've basically been my guinea pigs. But I'm just
Don't say it like that.
No, but just testing what works from what not works, you know. And unfortunately for them, they had just about a month. And for some reason, I keep getting people that have a little bit of time. I mean,
don't do that, guys.
Yes, it's important to prepare in advance if you know this is a goal of yours. Even if it's for 2 years, 3 years from now, it's important to start with the little things like your speech and so forth. So, so it's been about a month. And we started off with the basic things. We immediately started off with the Q&A, and then we started with the basics such as their posture, and then the steps to how to properly walk. And then from there, we did the different types of walks. So the swimsuit walk, the evening gown walk.
I just know the walk.
Yeah.
I don't know how to walk.
Yeah, there's literally a difference.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and then from there, it's just pulling all the pieces together. So from the introduction, the way you express yourself, and even like the way you hold your hands, you need strong hands, and also with the opening statement, the way they express themselves, because you can't just go on and on. You have to have that thing that captures your audience and your judges, that keeps them like in tune with what you're saying. And I think the hardest part, but for every pageant, is the question and answer segment. So I've really been trying to work with them on that. Hopefully they've been practicing, but pageantry, it's tough, but it's all practice and it's all just putting in the work. And I think these ladies have really done a tremendous job in being committed to the journey and not giving up. So we have 8 girls, and we don't have anyone that has dropped out or been remotely close to dropping out. And it's 7 out of 8 their first pageant, and they've all been troopers. They've all been patient and just they've trusted me and trusted my guidance. So I'm extremely thankful to be in this with them. It's been a learning process for me as well, because as a coordinator, this is my first year and my first pageant. So the training is one side of it, and then there's the production aspect. So
a whole other thing.
Yeah, so they've really been with me through this, and I'll forever hold them close to my heart.
Well, ladies, I'm excited for you guys. The pageant's set to take place this Friday at 7 p.m.
Yes, can I do a special announcement?
Okay, go.
Yes, so the pageant will be hosted
We already see it.
No, we have another person.
Okay, go.
But this is a really good duo, so that's
Okay.
why I wanted to say it together. So the pageant will be hosted by Miss Universe Belize, Isabella Zabane, and Benjamin Garcia.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of personality we're going to be getting right there on stage. That's so good. Okay. Well, ladies, I'm excited for you guys. I hope that you go and you leave your heart on the stage and really wow the crowd, and of course the judges in particular. Good luck to you guys, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you so much.
Well, we do got to wrap things up here now. It's been a wonderful show this morning. We got to sit down with many talented people and many beautiful people as well. And as we wrap things up, it is August 27th. If you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to ya. If you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oie@channel5belize.com. You can also catch us on Facebook. That's Open Your Eyes BZ, as well as Instagram for behind the scenes contents. That's OIE Belize. You can even text us or call us. We got a phone number. That's 675-2555. But please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes. And what you have to do when you open your eyes? Start your mind and right. Stretch. Please be sure to keep your eyes, your mind, and your hearts open. Have a wonderful Wednesday, Belize. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.